All right, what's up? What's up? Like how my boy Jack Move says it. Are we live, bro? Shout out to Jack Move. Let's see. Stream health. The levels is good. The levels is good. It's looking crispy. See? See, Anchor? Keep talking that shit. He said 4-minute delay. This late? Is it late? What the hell is he talking about? Is this live? Yeah, we live. We live, Spider-Man. We're doing it live. Grand opening, grand closing. Shout out to Overdone. Hey, so Overdone, shout out. He's in the chat, right? If you follow me on Twitter, the avatar use icon, whatever, he made that up. The dude makes funny ass memes. So a lot of the memes are out there is from him. Shout out to Overdone. But he recorded the Twitter space I hosted about Uncharted, $10 upgrade, and then he just sent me. That was my second Twitter space, so I'm not too familiar with it. But I guess now you have the ability to record it. But I didn't even think about that. But he recorded the whole thing, and he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, bro, I recorded the whole thing. If you want it." So shout out to Overdone, man. He's been out there for a long time supporting me in the channel. Yeah, the God, GAWD, because I ain't gonna say GOD. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know, we cool. You know, I ain't gonna go there. But the GAWD though, that's the God rock right there. shout out to Overdone, man. Oh, shout out to my homeboy. Appreciate it, man. You keep those memes rolling, man. Here we go, right? Yeah, definitely shout out to Jack Moon. Shout out to you guys, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the chat, you know. Shout out to all you who rock out with the channel, who's been with me for years. For those who just show up, man, I really appreciate it because, you know, it's time you guys take out of your money. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, right? You just have your phone, maybe you have your laptop, maybe you look it on your TV, split screen while you're playing the game and stuff like that. But the fact that you guys are rocking out, you know, listening to me, wondering what I have to say on certain topics, I truly appreciate it, man. Believe me, I don't take that lightly. I don't take you guys' time lightly. I'll be honest. There's certain things on social media, you know, as the phrase goes, cringe, right? I don't even like to use the word cringe. There's certain things that piss me the fuck off. I'll use that. Fuck it. You know, I'm grown. I'm not using the trendy, like, ooh, this cringes. No, something that pisses me off. And I don't know if they do it on purpose or if they do it as a skit. I just don't like seeing content creators when they go live and they bash their viewers because they don't subscribe or pay them money. Or, oh man, I can't. When I see those videos, I don't even comment. I just scroll by because that shit, tú sabes, me toca el nervio. That's Spanish for it touches the nerve, right? It hits a nerve point where I cannot believe content creators have the audacity to just, you know, talk shit about viewers simply because of what they decide to do with their money, whatever. The way I see it, if you want people to like, subscribe, or pay for some type of membership, or pay whatever, then it's on you to create the content to make them want to do that. You got to figure out a way to say, man, I'm like what I'm seeing. You know what? I want you to keep going. Here, $5 subscription or whatever you offer. But that's about it. Not shame people like, oh, that shit. Like, that's so disrespectful. And I can't believe they would do that to the audience. It's that, I'll be honest, that's one of the few things I see in social media that really, like, kind of like, oh, gets on my nerve. Right? Not a lot of things gets on my nerve. That's social media specific. Like, politics, you know, real life problems, that will always get on my nerve. That's why I avoid majority of topics. Like, if you notice, there's a few times I get caught up and then I realize, hold up, bring this shit back, ignore it, move on, right? Because there's a lot of things that really bother me, right? And that's like things that really affect people, things that really affect how people live, rights, safety, you know, real life stuff, right? And that bothers me, right? Because I can't believe how a lot of people are so callous towards another person, right? Shout out to Brown Devil. Thank you for the super chat. No comment. I guess you're just there to support the channel. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it so much, Devil. Really appreciate it, right? But there's certain topics that, like, I understand people having a political viewpoint on both sides to the spectrum, right? But at the end of the day, whatever is your viewpoint, it should be grounded on what's better for society and what helps people push forward, even if you don't know the person, right? That's really what it's about. What are the viewpoints that you're making, or your political stance, that helps you push society further, and not simply you doing it to shame or bash another viewpoint, right? That's why I see, like, certain topics, they look at it from I call it the console war method. That's what I call it. I call it a console war method, meaning you're looking at viewpoints and information to bash the other product or the other group that supports the console, whatever, right? Fanboys. That's the console war, right? Your whole idea of the console war is to make the other group look stupid, whatever. That's really the whole point. But in politics and real life issues, you have your stance. But is that stance going to be helpful to push society overall, to include the people you're bashing? You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, if you're in America, right, and you have a political stance, your political stance is not just meant for your specific group. It's meant for everybody. And how does everybody benefit? Even the people you don't like. You understand what I'm saying? For example, if you're a liberal and your stance should also benefit the conservatives, even if you don't like them, because at the end of the day, they're people too. Everybody's people. How does it benefit the overall society, right? Even though if you can't come up with a perfect plan, does it benefit everybody, right, on your political stance? But some people don't argue like that or think like that. What it is my side's right, your side's wrong. I'm going to prove your side's wrong, and I'm going to show the world, right? And that irks me. So that's why I don't get involved and stuff like that. I stay away from that. Console war, I have no problem doing that because it's consoles. It doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, it's video games, right? You're going to play where you want. You're going to enjoy what you want. What is said on Twitter or not said on Twitter is not going to stop a person, or shouldn't stop a person, from you going out there enjoying the games you want to play and the products you want to play, right? So that's why in the end, it's whatever. But political stance, social issue stance, totally different thing, right? So anyway, but beyond that, let me shout out. Let me see who's over here, who's up. While you're here, if you could just hit that like button, if you don't mind, real quickly, and tweet this out, or go through your favorite social media, whether it's Facebook. If you have a gaming group, let them know, yo, my boy Porter Rock is up in here talking. Check him out. If you haven't seen him before, you know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, I would truly appreciate it, because I would like, the community to always get bigger and get more people involved in the chat. But Anchor, what's going on? Yes, definitely pray for Code, man. My man Code is really bad. Like Code, me and him, we before we used to talk, offline. And what I mean by offline is not just on the podcast, but like on the phone. I have his phone number. I talked to his wife, amazing woman, and sometimes we talked a lot of stuff just outside of gaming, right? He's just a good dude, period, right? And it's just breaking my heart that this is happening, man. This is just, it's absolutely, right before the holidays and just right before any day. It's really heartbroken, man. So if you guys, I know I supported his GoFundMe. It's in the Twitter. If you need me to post the link to his GoFundMe, let me know. In fact, I will. I'll find it. I'll post it. But just do what you can if you can. If not, if anything else, just positive vibes and prayers and stuff like that, and hope, goes a long way. But yeah, man, prayer for Code. I wish that man the best, man. I learned a lot from him, man. We had private conversations, and he gave me so much knowledge behind game development, stuff like that. Very detailed, and he broke it down. Amazing dude. That's why I pushed him to do that channel where it was just specifically talking about the game industry. Because I thought, I felt the community really needed that. Because I don't think we really had that too, where somebody explain how things work. We have channels where they break down and analyze stuff, but nobody really stepped back and talked about the process and the work behind it. And I was egging him for a while, and then he finally did it. I hope everything goes well with my brother. Of course, J Gaming. Always crying. All right, let me guess. The campaign is bad. Is that what you're going to say, Porter Rock? That's what you want me to say. You know what I'm saying? Listen, J Gaming, you got battered wife syndrome. You like to get slapped. You like it. That's why you always show up. You like the abuse. Overdone, what's going on? Briar, what's up? DMG, what's good? What is it? Remember, Rock, it's okay when critics review a game 6 hours or less, but you gotta have 6 hours or more, or else it's not a real analysis. Yo, it's crazy. Sam, what's up? Anchor, what's good? Let's see. Lee, what's up? Hey, Lee, so maybe we had this conversation, but is your name Hyacinth? Is that the last name? Am I pronouncing it correctly? All right. Skills, what's up? Spider-Man. You know, we got our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man up in the chat. SS9 was good. Who we go? We got Louis A. What's up? Spider Week is coming. Going to watch the movie, bro. I feel you. You ready? You got them tickets? So I didn't even bother to buy Spider-Man tickets because right now my wife is in North Carolina. She went ahead of me. I'm going to be spending Christmas in North Carolina. I have a house there. So all the family is going to meet up there, right? Or a lot of the family is going to meet up there. So that's where I'll be spending Christmas. So I didn't buy tickets here, you know, because, you know, I didn't even want to go by myself. I know some people go, fuck that, I will go by myself. I don't know. I like going with my wife. So, you know, she's my partner in crime. She's my battle buddy. So I'm going to get tickets over there, and me and her are going to watch it over there. You know, I can't go to the movies without my wife. I just can't, no matter how great the movie is. Unless she says she's not watching it. You know, like if she told me, well, I ain't going to theaters to watch Spider-Man, then I'm like, okay, I'm out. And then she ends up going with me anyway, because I did that a couple of times. Blackbeard was good. Definitely shout out to Jack's move. Alfonso Carter was good. He said, y'all be sure to see my movie. Y'all boy trying to get paid. Oh, believe me, you're going to get paid. Don't worry, Spider-Man. You're gonna get paid not only with the movie, but wait till Spider-Man 2 comes out. You're gonna be driving that Maserati. You ain't gonna be needing to swing around New York no more. You know, when somebody says, Spider-Man, we need you, you're just gonna be like, hit the push start. You're gonna be driving through the city in that Rari. You're good. Craig, is this Mass Effect? Jesus, Craig. Shout out to Greg. Yo, Craig, oh, man, I miss you, Craig. We haven't done a podcast in a minute, man. I know everything's been going crazy, brother. But we got to get back and chop it up. AI The Truth. Halo Infinite overrated. Oh, ouch. Warlock Dog was good. Gave me a thumbs up. Extreme Gamer. Memes keep Xbox alive. HD Gamer. Definitely. What's up? Shout out. Okay, what's Brown Devil with the super chat? Dre X the one. I said Dr. Dre. Dre X the one. What's going on, brother? Of course we got Overdone. Efrain Gonzalez. What's up, brother? Andre Williams. Halo Infinite is A+. Just keep it 100. Don't lead us around the bush. Just tell us what's up. Oh man, this guy says it's A+. Man, you guys. Harry, what's up? No need to dedicate life to a piece of plastic, especially if it's crap. Oh shit. Here we go. What's up? And here we go. We got, is it Harry, AG Gamer, blah blah blah. D Paro, what's up? Robin Gaming. Here we go. Hyper Heim, what's up? Welcome aboard. William Harmon. You know, Phaedrus Socrates. Y'all killing me here. Y'all always testing my English language. All right, here we go. What we got? We got the Hatsuma. I don't understand how people can't fathom empathy. I don't know, brother. Like, you know what it is? It's the internet. The internet, like, it's not even the internet. It's trying to have serious conversations on the internet. You lack that, you know, when you have a person face to face, you know, and it's just that connection. And I think a lot of people more and more are growing up having conversations over the internet and not conversations at the dinner table or conversations with a group of friends or stuff like that. So, like, a lot of people's social skills just suck. What else we got here? Who else we got here? Of course, we got Sam Ash. I said the Prowler, what's up? Who else we got here? All right, so we got a little bit of people up in here. You know how many people? We got 83 showing up, man. I appreciate it, especially for something last minute, not consistently planned. But while you here, hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Take 2 minutes to post it, or you can look at my Twitter and retweet it out. You know, make a quote, let people know, yo, Puerto Rico Live. He about to give his first impression, not a review. First impression of Halo Infinite. First impression, not a review. Okay? So this is a first impression. I will give my review when I beat the game. You hear that, people? When I beat the game. Alright? That's the only time, if I ever do a review, is when I get a review. I do not review games that I don't finish, right? And I don't really review games a lot, right? But a lot of people were asking me. A lot of people. I don't know why. I don't know if you guys are expecting a bit of comedy, controversy, or something. I don't know what you guys are expecting. I'm going to tell you this, though, all right? I rarely do reviews, right? Rarely does. If I do review something or I do give an impression on something, right? It's going to be 100%, 100. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it a buck. There's no pony, no Pegasus, no, Xbox. Xbox is trash. Nothing to incite controversy or clickbait or anything like that. I don't, right? That's why I rarely do it, right? Because a lot of people, I sense that a lot of people want the controversy because that's what gets the conversation going, right? Right? I don't think a lot of people will appreciate me keeping up. But they say they do, but a lot of people don't. That's why I hardly do it, right? But when I do it, it's my honest opinion on the product. 100%. It's just, my opinion is just a reflection of just me playing the game and what I expected out of it and what I got out of it, right? And that's it. It's not to shape other people's view or whatever. So when I do give an impression, which I rarely do, but when I do it, and when I do decide to review a game, if I ever do it, right? It's gonna be honest, right? And I'm not gonna hold other things that doesn't pertain to the game. It's gonna be just the conversation of the game itself, and that's it, right? So that's it, right? But what I do need, one more thing. Let me retweet this out one more again. Let me do this one more again. I'm gonna tweet it out myself. All right. Let's see. Hold up. I'm on Twitter right now. Let's see. We're live now. All right, let's see. Come through if you to hear my first impression of Halo Infinite. Come on. Let me see here. Yeah, hold on. Halo Infinite campaign. All right, I'm doing an emoji. Yeah, do that. There we go. Boom. There you go. We're live. Come through if you want to hear my first impression of Halo Infinite campaign. Woo! Some people are just going to click on it because they expect fuckery. It's funny. It's pretty funny. Alright, so let me give you a little background to this. Right? Let me give you a little background to this, right? Okay. So I originally was not gonna play Halo Infinite until I got around to getting my PC, right? Reason being was I wanted to play it on the next gen, some form of next generation platform, right? With better graphics, better performance and stuff like that. So I was just gonna hold out and wait and just not deal with it. But while I was holding out waiting, it's not like I was worried about the campaign story. It's not one of those games where I was gonna go on a blackout and not listen to anything or worried about the story of Halo. The Halo story isn't that important to me. Worry about the blackout. Like it's not like The Last of Us, right? If I see like The Last of Us or God of War Ragnarok, I go on a blackout because I really want to be surprised by the story. I don't want to spoil for me, right? But certain games, I don't really care about the story. It's not that deep, right? Like if they made a new Infamous, I wouldn't worry about Blackout for the story behind Infamous. You know what I mean? So certain games like that. So I wasn't really worried about the story getting spoiled for me. And I don't think anybody even tried to, right? Because I don't think Halo was ever regarded as the most... Well, I think when you include the books and all that stuff and other movie shows, maybe... I just overall didn't really worry about the game being spoiled. Didn't really bother me, right? But as I was looking, you know, through like YouTube videos, I see some streamers playing the game on the Infinite campaign. I seen, you know, I read reviews of various outlets reading it, all right? Reading about the game, looking at the game, seeing the videos and the gameplays. I already seen some gameplay walkthroughs, people already streaming the game and stuff like that. I looked at it, I'm like, from what I'm seeing, I really don't have to wait to get a higher end system to play this game, right? It's not like one of those games that I'm like, oh, I'm absolutely not going to play this like Elder Scrolls, right? The next Elder Scrolls or the next Fallout, I refuse to play this until I get, you know, even if it was available on Xbox One or cloud or whatever, I refuse to play the next Elder Scrolls or whatever. There's certain games I refuse to play. You know, it's kind of like, you know, how some people saw Miles Morales. They refused to play it on PS4 even though it was available. They got to play on the next gen. Well, Halo Infinite did give me that vibe. So I'm thinking, you know what? There's really no reason for me not to play this game, right? So let me just boot it up. So I'm playing the game on Xbox One, right? So with that, I'm not going to talk about the graphics or the performance, because to be honest, I don't think anyone gives a shit unless you're playing on the Series X or a decent level PC with a decent performance hardware. To be honest, let's say if I was playing the game on the Xbox Series S, let's say for whatever reason I was cursed and I was you know, somebody disrespected me and gifted me an Xbox Series S. Let's say somebody hates me that much and I ended up playing on the Series S, I still wouldn't be talking about. I would not mention performance or graphics on that. It's not even worth it, right? You know, if I was played on the X, then I would talk about how I think it graphically is. Or if I played on PC with a decent rig, I will also talk about the graphics, whatever. But other than that, since I'm not playing on those two platforms, so I'm gonna eliminate all talk about graphics on that one. Because again, no one cares anything else. But from what I did play so far, right? I'm going to tell you why I'm up to the point at, right? So I'm up to the point where it's the mission right before the excavation site, right? So you have to go to excavation site, which is still early in the game. But the reason why I haven't finished that system, that mission, or even started that mission or go beyond it, is because Halo now is an open world game, right? Vice the traditional linear path where you go from level to level and you you do your thing. So they opened it up, right? And when I play open world games, right, I have this thing. It's just, maybe it's OCD or whatever, right? But if it's good enough, I tend to do the little side missions and little stuff, especially if they're associated to upgrades. I tend to do that. So it takes me a while to just move on with the story, right? It takes me a while to move on with the story, right? Because I'm so focused on, oh snap, you know, and like one thing about this game, it has Spartan cores, right? So Spartan cores, you know, it's like ability points. It's pretty much the ability point system. You gain these little things, you get ability points, and you spend so much ability points to unlock a capability. I'm not even at the excavation point, and I already maxed out my shield, you know, tree. If you play the game, you know, you got your, grappling hook. I think it's like 5 or 6 levels. You got the shield, which is 5 or 6 levels, right? And then you have, and the only thing I have is a threat. The other stuff is not unlocked, so I don't know what other abilities are there. So far, I only have 3 abilities unlocked, and I already maxed out the shield and the grappling. Now I'm working on the threat, capability, and I barely done anything in the game because I've been going around unlocking fobs. I've been finding Spartan cores. I've been saving, Marines that are in trouble. I've been destroying all the, the propaganda towers. So I already spent mad hours on this game and I barely moved on to the main story because I'm like, once you unlock a fob and it sends a signal out of all these little things, I just look at the screen, I'm going to be like, so now I'm going around doing those things, right? And that's what I've been doing, right? But in keeping with that, you get a really good, and I got a really good in-depth first impression on the gunplay, You know, kind of like the sense of direction where the game's going and stuff like that. You know, the little side missions and how long I think this method is sustainable and stuff like that, right? So let's talk about just the gunplay, because I think that's an easy conversation. Gunplay is good, and caveat: I am not talking about the multiplayer at all. So I have not played the multiplayer. That I will not play. I will not play the multiplayer on this console because number one, it's an Xbox One, so I refuse to play on the most weakest of all of them. Serious disadvantage, right? Especially if the game could be played at 120 frames. That's where I'm going to play the game at. So that's not happening. I'm not playing the multiplayer on this console. No way I will do that to myself. And two, I hate the Xbox controller. I'm probably one of the few. I can't stand the controller. I hate it, right? So if I ever do play the Halo Infinite multiplayer, it's going to be on the PC and either on the controller. I don't know if I'm going to use mouse and keyboard. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll learn. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to use a controller that I prefer. But other than that, it is what it is, right? So back to the Infinite campaign, right? So gunplay is really smooth. Really good gunplay. Great hit detection. I mean, it's really good, right? I have no issues with it. It feels great. It's smooth. The gameplay's smooth. I honestly don't have any issues with the gunplay stuff like that. I think it's pretty fun and stuff. And I bring that up because I don't see no issues with it. I think it's so far, you know, just the overall gunplay and gameplay is really good. The grappling hook. I'll be honest, when I first saw the grappling hook from the reveal, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was a gimmick. But the grappling hook's pretty awesome in this game, right? You can do so much more than what is advertised when you first watch the game in the reveal, right? You can use it. It's a great way to get you out of situations where the enemy overwhelms you. Like there was times where if you notice the two brutes that are in red that like are backed out, you guys know who I'm talking about? They always land and they have no weapons. They just like, and they just run right at you and they just punch you to death. They're pretty much on heroin, you know. Pretty much the game decides to create brutes that are like, you know, Tony Montana, you know, snort them up with coke and then, you know, just unleash them on the battlefield. That's who they are, right? If you guys know who I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? Those two brutes. There's always two of them too. And they just like, they're savages. They're nuts. They're just coked up. They're coked up on cocaine and heroin and they feel no pain. And they just try to beat you to death even though you got like a fucking rocket launcher in your hand. You guys know what I'm talking about? Have you run into them? Have you played the campaign? Well, you run into these guys. Well, there's plenty of time they run so fast at me. A tactic that I do is I launch the grappling hook past them, and then I zoop right by them, turn around, and then I'm messing them up. So that way they don't box me in. So that's like one of the examples you can do with a grappling hook, right? Another one is the grappling hook. You could really traverse the mountains and climb over mountains and go through shortcuts. So, which is pretty good, right? So the grappling hook really, really is pretty cool. You can use it as a combat advantage. You can use it as a weapon as well. You know, you take away the enemy's weapon, or you could, you know, blast their shield. When you upgrade it, you can shock them. Those explosive. They really put some effort into the grappling hook. So I enjoyed that. That does add a different layer to the game as compared to past Halos. So that's pretty fun. Next thing about that, yeah. So as far as the gunplay overall, a lot of it's Halo. It's all core centered around Halo, right? In terms of the gameplay and gunplay. So I think the grappling really changed a little bit, makes it more fun, whatever. The real big thing is the open world. I think that's the main key between previous Halos and this one. It's just the open world. You go where you want. You know, you assign the mission, or you could do side missions and stuff like that, upgrade capabilities and stuff like that. And I think that's what breaks it out, right? I think it's going to be a bag on what type of gamer you are. I kind of like it. I think it broke it out the mode. I'm enjoying it so far. First impression wise, I'll give my full thoughts about the whole open world design when I'm done with the game. But so far, I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of liking the freedom of Halo now. I'm kind of liking the freedom of not just doing level after level after level, because we had a lot of FPS games that's always been that way. I'm kind of liking that with Halo, with Infinite, I have more freedom of movement. I could go where I want. I can do what I want. I can fight and approach things the way I want, if that makes sense. So I'm enjoying that bit of freedom that's going on there. I'm looking forward to unlocking more vehicles, and to see, like, to see how it pans out. What's that vehicle that flies? The Phantom? It's been a while. I haven't unlocked that one. Obviously, I'm in the beginning of the game, but I'm really interested to see. Is that what it's called? I'm bugging out. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The one enemy vehicle where you can fly around the map. God, it's been years. Fuck. Jesus Christ. It's on the tip of my tongue. The fuck? Why am I forgetting about it? Jesus Christ. Anyway, now, with the open world aspect, right? Like I said, I'm enjoying it, going through. One critical thing for me that's always been critical for me for open world games, the Banshee. There you go. I said the Phantom, the Banshee. One critical thing for me has always been, and this has been a pet peeve. I don't care what game it is. When you're an open world game, no, it's the Banshee. The Wasp is the one on the ground. The one critical thing has been, and this been always been my pet peeve, is fast travel. That's always been a pet peeve of mine. I don't care what game it is. If you're in an open world game, you gotta have a good fast travel, because sometimes you don't want to walk or drive or travel extended miles. At a certain point, you wanna, if you wanna hit this mission, you wanna bypass the traveling. Because at a certain point, traveling is not good gameplay, especially if you've already been through the terrain and you already access majority of the stuff that area has to offer. Just walking or driving through or flying through it is pointless now. That's just wasted gameplay, and I hate that, right? I hate games with a bad, like Red Dead 2 is notorious. Terrible fast travel system. Yeah, it's terrible. Assassin's Creed usually has a great fast travel system. You could get to places really quickly. So far from what I'm seeing, Halo Infinite Campaign has a good fast travel. When you unlock the fobs, that becomes a fast travel point, which I'm liking. So I kind of like that. You have to walk to a certain area, but once you, like in a fob, and you take it over and it's your fob, now that becomes a fast travel point, which allows you to go through the map very quickly, right? It's funny, Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man have excellent fast travel. Harry, completely agree. What's funny is Spider-Man is one of the few, if not the only game I don't use fast travel. I love web swinging on Spider-Man games, so I'm going to just leave it at that. It's really fun to web swing, so I don't fast travel Spider-Man. That's the only exception. But everything else, even Ghost of Tsushima, ain't no way I'm going to ride a horse across the map. It's just not. Whatchamacallit? King of the Road, Ponies. Who said we believe each other? Who is bringing the first true next-gen game? PlayStation already did. It launched. There's already multiple next-gen games only on PlayStation. Man, you Xbox dudes are weird, bro. Like, y'all comment just to comment and stuff like that. Anyway, speaking of the fact, what I was saying. So, when the Banshee comes out, I'm really interested in how that plays, being able to fly around the map and see how that goes. So, I'm looking forward to see how that ends up being, right? So far, my first impression to the game is, I'm enjoying the change. I'm enjoying the open world format, right? I'm enjoying the grappler hook. I think that really adds to the gameplay of Halo. It's still traditionally Halo in gunplay and stuff. That gunplay's still good, right? I liked that we're back to Master Chief and you're not playing as anybody else, right? I hope it stays that way. But I'm also a pet peeve. Like, if I'm going to play a Batman game, I want to play as Batman. I don't want to play as somebody else. Like Halo 5. No, I want to play... If it's Halo 5, it should have been all Master Chief. Well, Halo Infinite is all Master Chief. It should stay that way. I don't mind playing as other characters, right? But you got to identify the game that is going to be that from the start. Like, for example, Uncharted, right? If it's Uncharted 4, they're playing as Nathan Drake. But when they made Lost Legacies, okay, got it. Lost Legacies, a separate content now. I'm cool with that. If Naughty Dog makes Uncharted 5, let's say right now, Naughty Dog announced on Twitter, and they just show the image Uncharted 5 coming soon. Well, my default expectation is Nathan Drake. I don't want to hear about me playing anybody else. It's Nathan Drake. Does that make sense? So Halo Infinite, Chief, you get Chief. Loving the vibe of how he's talks. He's just Chief. Chief is Chief, right? Still get his ass kicked by Kratos though. I don't know why the hell would you ever think Kratos could. I mean, he's hell, you're fighting the brutes and all that stuff, and they're nothing compared to Kratos. So yeah, y'all crazy thinking Master Chief could fuck with Kratos. That's just insane. Anyway, so overall, my first impression is positive. I'm not gonna give it a score. I don't think impressions should have a score. If there was any issues, I can't speak to it because I think again, a lot of the issues I see people have, is not even performance, graphics and stuff like that. Like I seen videos where like grass and stuff like that disappears and reappears. Like it's weird, right? But I'm not gonna speak to that because I think that's more of a Xbox Series X conversation. I think that's more of a high-end PC conversation to really bring out the bells and whistles. So because I'm not playing on those platforms, any issues that I see graphically is irrelevant. It's no point in talking about it. Everybody's focused on the new stuff. No point in going over the old stuff, right? But so far, it's been pretty good. It's been a pretty good experience, right? Am I getting the feeling this is going to be a masterpiece? No. I'm getting a feeling like, oh man, I'm going to enjoy this game. This is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be a good campaign. And that's the feeling I'm getting. That's the urge I'm getting. And I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep playing it. But this doesn't scream, masterpiece. And it's not because I'm playing on the last gen console, because like The Last of Us 2, you play that game, you can tell like, holy shit, this is going to be an epic experience, right? Even Ghost of Tsushima, I played it on the PS4. I didn't play on the Pro. And you could just tell that this is going to be an epic experience, right? So what I'm getting is this is going to be a good Halo. This is going to be a really good Halo. Definitely better than 5. And I'll be honest, 4, it was so long ago since I played 4. But I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this much more than their last 2 games. I could definitely sense that, right? I'm definitely getting great vibes from this game and stuff like that. So that's my initial impression. That's my first impression so far. It's been so far good. It's been so far fun. Gunplay's good. Grappling hook ended up being better than I expected. And then, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep playing it, and then when I finally finish the game, then I could give you my full review. Then that will be an actual review of any issues or anything I like, or if the game just kept doing better things and stuff like that. So that's my first impression. I think if you have an Xbox, play it. I think you enjoy it. As far as you Xbox Series X guys, I don't know what you expect out of the game. Maybe you guys expect the better graphics. I can't speak to that. Only you guys can talk to if the game graphically lives up to the hype of Xbox or whatever. That's more for you guys to talk about, right? So I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay. The next topic I want to talk about, what are we talking about now? What is it? PS5 maxed out? Is that what's on the docket? People wondering what am I talking about, right? Give me a second. I'm going to show you. So, after the Game Awards, the UE5 demo. Oh, we got a super chat. What's up, Hoovy? Was good? He says, funny how the same dudes that cap for crossplay when it comes to Sony all of a sudden are against it when it comes to Halo multiplayer. Because they're getting rocked. I'll tell you 2 reasons. They're getting rocked because they're facing guys with keyboard and mouse support. Right? That's number 1. And, there's a lot of cheaters. It's easier to cheat on PC as compared to console. Consoles, you're gonna have to put a little effort. There's a lot of effort, right? Because console is not an open network, right? Because you're dealing with specifically PSN and stuff like that. While PC, a lot more advantages and a lot more ways to have programs. I seen one video, dude had a program which allowed him to see through everything and identify the character as red. it's insane. I saw the video. I'm like, yo, he literally can see where the guys are coming from, and then they're targeted as red. So the dude's playing on PC, and he's just killing people. I mean, he had like 18 kills in a row because there's nobody that can approach him. He just look around, and he can see exactly where they're at, no matter where they're at on the map. So he's hunting them down. He's like a ninja. Like, yo, it's insane. He's like a ninja, and he's using a sniper, so he knows where they're gonna walk at. Yo, it's crazy, and he's just killing dudes. Like, yo, and here's my thing: I don't see the point in that. Like cheaters that play multiplayer, I don't get your enjoyment. Other than if you want to fuck with people, but you guys have no lives. I can understand people who use cheat codes or cheat programs for single player games because you wanna feel like God against dominate a game and just enjoy the game in single player. I get that, but when you play a multiplayer game, right? It's all about your skills versus the person's skills, right? So you're trying to do your thing, right? I don't understand why you would cheat and not put your skills and try to compete and show how good you are against other people that are playing the multiplayer game. I don't get it. Because the dudes that cheat and get like these 18, 20 kills, you ain't shit. Like, no shit. Like, it's pointless. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy people don't have personal pride in trying to be good, right? Have pride in yourself to actually, be able to, like, when you win, have pride in yourself that you win because you have the skills to win and not because you cheat and stuff like that. Yo, that shit's crazy. Right? It's like, why are you even playing multiplayer? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Right? That shit's crazy, bro. I mean, it is what it is, man. These dudes, I don't know, man. You guys trying to, these cheaters, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish other than ruin the enjoyment for other games. They're certainly not getting out of it. You're certainly not showing how good you are, right? Because let's say you get all these kills because you're cheating, and then people look on your stats and they congratulate you. They'll be like, yo, your stats is crazy, man. You're really dope. You really gonna take that as a compliment? You really gonna accept how people view your stats as an achievement you did, knowing that your stats ain't real. You ain't earned them. They're not complimenting you. I'm gonna let all you cheaters know. If you're cheating these games, right, and you get these high accolades and stats, right, because you got a crazy kill dev ratio, insane amount of objective completion, all these stats, and people just look at your stats as face value, be like, man, you're really good in this game. They are not complimenting you. They're complimenting a person that does not exist. You're not getting a compliment. Sure, they're talking to you because in their mind, they think you earned them. They think that's you playing. But in reality, that is not you playing. That is not you. That person doesn't exist. What exists is a person who's using a program or some type of cheat to achieve all that. Let me put it to you this way, right? Let's say, for example, you have all these stats and you're doing all these great things, right? As a cheater. And somebody approaches you, be like, yo, I see your stats. You are dope. And you're like, yeah, I'm nice, right? Cool. Hey, I want you to come to my team. There's a $50,000 grand prize to play Halo. I want you on my team because looking at your stats, you're nice. And we're going to get this $50,000 quick with your skills. What do you say? So when somebody approaches you like that, what are you going to say? Are you going to accept it? Because, bruh, if you want a tournament, it's not going to be your PC and your bullshit little cheating programs or your console that's cheating whatever. You're not going to have access to those cheating things. You're going to be exposed. What are you going to say? $50,000 on the line. Are you going to tell the guy, nah, I ain't got time to make $50,000? But what you going to do? You see what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You're going to get exposed. If you were dumb enough to say yes to that, and then you go in a tournament and people see how you really play, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, what happened? You see what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, bro. So like, but you're right though, Hoovy. Shout out for the super chat. He said, just like he said, dudes begging for crossplay and now y'all don't want it. Now, I was indifferent to it because at the end of the day, there's plenty of people on PlayStation to play. So I never saw it as a big deal. I see the advantages of it, but now everybody's trying to turn off crossplay. They want the option to turn off crossplay because they only want to play within their ecosystem. Then what the hell was all the nonsense for in the first place? What was it all for? We're back to square one. It's crazy, right? But let me go to the next image. Let me see if I got it right here. No, what am I doing? My man right here. So Blues Violet's back on his BS. Like, yo, dude's gotta let it go, man. Just let this shit go. So the Matrix demo came out, right? And he says, even the Matrix is impressive. That only scratched the surface of Xbox S. Or, the Xbox, Xbox Series X, I'm assuming. Tech. But on PS5, that already fully tapped. He put tape, but I'm pretty sure he meant tapped with tendency to overheat in the long run. No power left in the PS5. Even to do Auto HDR VR. Yo! So this dude already saying, he's pushing the narrative to the public that's it. PS5 is maxed out. Anything the PS5 is able to do has been done. It's already maxed out. No more. There's nothing left. Hell, you'll be lucky if there's any. Can't even do VR because UE5 demo took that too. Yo, these Xbox gamers. And you know who's even worse? It's not so much him. Well, he's bad, right? But it's all the Xbox gamers that's gonna believe him. The amount of Xbox gamers that's gonna take his thing at face value and believe him. And then we're stuck dealing with these douchebags. We're gonna have tweets of these douchebags just telling us, getting into these conversations, oh, PS5's tapped out. And then people get pissed off when I'm on Twitter clowning Xbox fanboys. Oh, Porter Rock's so cringe. Yeah, it's y'all fault. You let Blues Violet say this stuff, and none of you Xbox guys gonna go out Blue and tell him, Blue, cut that bullshit out. You're lying. Because number one, look at this doofus's tweet. Number one, right? I could understand if people understand game development and how games goes, right? Got that, right? But unless you make games, unless you have the PS5 deck kit and you are making these games, you cannot make a statement if the PS5 is fully tapped out. Especially if you're relating it to a specific game, or in this case, the Matrix demo. How does he know Matrix demo only scratched the surface of the Xbox Series X, but yet fully utilize everything it can, and that's it? There's nothing else left. He didn't make the goddamn demo. Even the developers aren't even saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Epic's not saying they fully tapped out the PlayStation 5. No one is saying that. All the third-party developers are excited. Insomniac came out and said they're just scratching the surface on what they can do with these games. So who is this dude to make those straight claims on how far developers already reached with the PlayStation 5 versus the Xbox Series X? This is insane. At this point, I'm gonna say this. At this point, we start in 2022, right? In a couple of weeks, New Year's coming. First, we're gonna get Christmas, right? We're gonna enjoy the holidays, right? Then we're gonna get into the new year. But in 2022, we all need to push a new energy, right? If these dudes like Blues Violet and whoever, these regular accounts, want to make grand statements like this, I'm gonna say is, if you truly believe in what you say, get on a podcast. I don't care if it's an Xbox podcast, I don't know. put your face behind the camera, and I want to hear you say it. I want you, through words behind the mic and me seeing your face so I know who you are, stand behind your word. If anybody makes these bland statements and they're not willing to put themselves out there, I'm not listening to them. There's no point. There's no point. That's the energy for 2022. Put your face and voice behind your shit. Prove to me you really believe. Why? Don't hide behind no Twitter account to where you can close it, create a new one, create stock accounts. Nah, we're not doing that no more. You guys have no energy. You have all this insider information. You know what's going on. I need to see your face. I need to hear your voice. Get on the podcast. Get on YouTube. Show who you are. Talk it. And prove to me you really believe in the bullshit you're saying. Because I'm not dealing with that for 2022. As far as I'm concerned, all these fake, whack-ass Xbox accounts that hide their face behind these avatars and all this shit, y'all have no energy. There's no point. Put your face and name behind it. Prove to me you truly believe in this nonsense. Because I'm not. It's already been over a year, and we have not even been close to seeing the performance difference that was promised. We even had guys straight out lie. Remember Resident Evil Village? Oh, they're struggling at 1080p. And then what's his name? Golem? And then Golem admitted, well, I made up a lie because, there was too much negative news about Xbox, so I tried to balance it out. Man, if you don't shut your ass up with this nonsense. If you don't shut your ass up. This is it. 2022, dudes come out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, word? Yeah, get on the air. I need to see your face, and I need to hear you say it. Put that on your name. And they're not going to do it. They're going to hide behind these avatars. So stay hidden behind these avatars. But we're not doing this no more, right? PlayStation 5 has been the most impressive machine for next generation consoles. More impressive than Xbox. More impressive than Xbox Series S. Definitely more impressive than Series. If anything, the most impressive out of all of them is the PlayStation 5 All Digital Edition. Because for $400, it is superior to the Xbox Series S. And it keeps up, maintains, and sometimes even does better, depending on the game, than an Xbox Series X, which is $500. So price to performance, the winner so far by a margin has been the PS5 All Digital Edition. Granted, you can't buy physical games, but a lot of people don't care about that anymore, and you save $100. That is impressive that at that level of hardware, Sony was able to maintain it. No different than the regular PS5. So price to performance, all digital is king. $400 cannot be beat. It's greatly superior than the Series S, and at times outperforms Xbox Series X, depending on the game. But for the most part, all games are stalemates. Generally no difference. Incredible for something that's $400. Absolutely incredible, right? So the winner out here, out the gate, is a PlayStation 5 overall as the most impressive machine. And Sony has done phenomenally better with providing content right out the gate. It's just no question, right? And it's only going to get better for us. It's only going to get better for us. The games, I can't even fathom what Sony's going to deliver, right? Especially, the graphical powerhouses of what, Santa Monica could do, what Naughty Dog can do, hell, even what Guerrilla can do. Jesus Christ. Bruh. There's going to be some crazy stuff, man. It's going to be some crazy stuff, man. Absolutely insane stuff, right? Vedger, thank you for the super chat. But we are supposed to forget Xbox Series X and Series S parity. I want to say parity. I would say that Series S provides a challenge because that's the minimum. That's the bare minimum. Series S is the minimum, right? That sets the the Series X is not the minimum. Series S is the minimum. So that's really it is what it is. Microsoft created that situation, right? They took their developers and turned them into, let's be honest, Microsoft first party studios, right? Because they have to make games on the Series S, Series X, and PC day one, day and date, and then cloud, whatever business they do there. That's pretty much a multi-plat, environment. They're no different than EA. The only difference is they don't make games for Switch or PlayStation. So there's 2 more platforms that's reduced. But overall, that's pretty much a multi-platform environment, right? So you have to consider everything every time with every game you make. You have to consider lower spec PCs. You have to consider the Xbox Series S and how everything meshes well and the quality control of everything, because those games are coming out day one. That's what they did, right? So it is what it is, right? Right now we're wondering if Sony's going to go in that same direction. Are they going to do day and date? Because then PlayStation's in that same position. You have day and date, you have your PS5 games, and then you have to worry about all the PC architecture and the minimal specs of the PC. Whatever they decide the minimum spec is. The one good part is the PS5 all digital is not a weaker console. They didn't go with a different architecture. It is the same architecture. So Sony was smart. There's only one architecture for their console. Microsoft decided to go with 2 separate architectures. Even though it uses RDNA 2 and had the same CPU, but the GPU is weaker, right? And that probably wouldn't have been too bad. But why did they go with a lower bandwidth memory? I have no idea. Why did they go with a different memory architecture? A slightly not slightly, but a downgraded memory architecture compared to the X? The only thing they should have done was just a weaker GPU. Then that would have been fine. But it is what it is. It's not really, whatever. As far as PS5, that's by far the most impressive out there. But yeah, so they want to keep this heat up, but at the end of the day, we all see the truth. We all see the games. The PlayStation 5 has been incredible. I think some of the biggest advocates, the guys who actually put their face on YouTube, you see they steered away from that, right? They didn't double down on that. In the beginning, they were all about it last year. They were all about it in 2020. And they were all about the tools. The tools. It's the tools when the tools come. They were all about that. But the ones who put their face out there, their names out there, their voice out there, you notice they're pretty much done talking about power. Because it's true. It's at a certain point, if you actually put your name out there and your face out there, you realize it's an L. It's an L. You know what I'm saying? It's an L, right? Let's go. What's my next topic? My next topic is the HellBlade. Okay, let me go with HellBlade. We got this HellBlade sender, so let's see. No, that's gonna be after HellBlade topic. I'm gonna add one extra topic. I'm never getting rid of that image. I don't care if we're in next gen. That image is staying on this thing. I will always have access to this image as a reminder of what the hell Rockstar tried to pull. That will never get old. Boom. Okay, here we go. HellBlade. Downgrade. HellBlade 2. Downgraded. So, I'm going to say this. How many of you have been following me before 2017, right? Before the first HellBlade came out, right? If you follow me before the first HellBlade came out, many of you should know that I'm a Ninja Theory fan. I enjoy their games. I loved Heavenly Sword and stuff like that. I love the games they created, right? So I was always looking forward to help the first HellBlade. I was following their dev diary. I was in tune to what was their vision of trying to create AAA like games, but not actually AAA in budget, scope, and design, or like years, right? Because that was the direction Ninja Theory was going for. They no longer wanted to try to create big production games that cost $100 million, more than $100 million, and takes 5 years to make, right? Their thing was specifically, cheaper costing games, but try to give the great graphical look of a AAA. So the first HellBlade came out. It only costed them $12 million to make. Right? It was only $12 million. If you played the first HellBlade, that's only a $12 million game. when it was first. I don't want to say only, but you know, it was not 50, 40. It was $12 million. They made the game with $12 million, and that was their vision, right? To create a game with a low, smaller budget, but graphically looks good and stuff like that, right? The game came out. Well, before the game came out, PlayStation Nation, we hyped it. You know what I'm saying? Hyped Ninja Theory, hyped the game, hyped the graphics. And then when it came out on PlayStation, it sold $250K in 3 months. I don't know if y'all saw that podcast, right? I made a video. Everybody saw that between PC and PlayStation, it sold $100K after 3 months combined. And I was like, what the fuck? And then on PlayStation specifically, PS4, $250K. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, yo, $250K, that ain't nothing, bro. Like, random games sell $250K. I was very disappointed in myself. Then, of course, I had a podcast. I should re-upload that podcast. Or maybe provide the link, right? Do y'all want me to provide the link to that podcast? It was a long podcast because we talk about stuff. But, yo, everybody on the PlayStation I was damage controlling. They were like, oh, you know, as long as the developer's happy, the developers said they made money, so they're happy. So then that's it. That's all that matters. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Because that was around the time we were bashing, not we, I didn't bash it because I love Cuphead. Cuphead was being bashed because it sold the million first week. And people were saying, PlayStation guys were saying, oh, should have sold 2 million, 3 million, the way it was hyped, whatever. But Cuphead was a cheaper developed game. It cost less than $12 million, and it cost less than $12 million. So it was cheaper production compared to HellBlade. And it sold $1 million the first week compared to HellBlade, right? And HellBlade was on PS4 PC. Cuphead was on Xbox PC. So Cuphead was much more successful than HellBlade. But yet, Cuphead was still getting bashed for only selling $1 million. Yet it was... The podcast didn't make sense, man. These dudes were bugging, right? A lot of these dudes were bugging, right? They were calling it niche. It's not for every gamer. I mean, yo, if y'all only heard, and a lot of the dudes that were on the podcast, they're around now. You can see them. You can see what's on there. I think I might post a link. Should I post a link? Sparring God. Porra, dímelo. ¿Qué pasó? Remember, when you flipped out on PlayStation dudes, when you found out HellBlade only sold 500 on PlayStation? Yeah. Let me ask you, son. Y'all want me to put the link to that podcast, or should I re-upload the podcast and clip out? Should I do this? Y'all let me know. One, I'm going to give you a choice between one or two. Choice one, re-upload the podcast, but only the specific segments of HellBlade, meaning edit it out. Edit out the whole thing, just when HellBlade conversation started, right before it, and where it ended. And then I'll re-upload that. Or two, just post a link in the description, and you guys could just look at the video now. Which you rather have? You want me to post it? Repost that specific segment? Or just give y'all the link right now and then y'all look at it on your own? It was a long podcast. It was like 3 hours. I could give you the timestamp of when it began. So which one? One, re-upload specifically that, put in the time and re-upload it, or just give you the link and you guys would just deal with it. One or two. One is the clip out. Two is just give me the link. Go. One for the clip out. Two for the link. All right. One for the clip. One for the clip out. One for the clip out. So I'm seeing clip. I'm seeing clip out. Re-upload the segment. So that's clip out. Two. Warlock though just wants the link. He's like, don't give me that. Don't give me a whole new video. One for the clip. What you think? What you think would be better for the channel? I'm asking you guys. Or should I just... Don't be... Warlock, don't be cheating. Don't be voting twice. My man said 3. Delete the channel. Oh, shit, now. Link. I'll rewatch it. HellBlade over 1 million copies. What is it? So, link. My man said 6. Re-upload. All right, I think I'll just... Well, I'm just gonna... Well, no, I'm not doing all that. I don't know. Boycott, my man said 1 with timestamps. I'm just gonna clip out everything else. It's just gonna be that one segment. It's gonna bring back the good old days. All right? But anyway, I'm telling you, man, listen. This is why when I see people talk about HellBlade and whatever, I'm just be like, boy, because I was the only one that expected more success, right? And what's funny, looking back, right? Looking back, I said that the way HellBlade sold, right? Even if they did make the money, it is not sustainable. Ninja Theory will not last long. They'll be just one flop. They'll just be one flop away from being success. Now, reading into the article, looking back then, Ninja Theory said when they made the game, right, and released it, they were expecting for the game to be successful after 6 months, but they achieved it in 3 months. And on the podcast, they were using that as a but they said they found success after 3 months. I'm like, yo, that's not a sustainable method. It's not sustainable, right? If you make a game and you have to wait 3 to 6 months to finally say, woo, we made it, bruh, you're gonna have issues. Right? And I told them that is not sustainable, right? That game should have easily cleared $250K in the first week on PlayStation. That is not a huge barometer. I've seen less games with barely any advertising, niche as hell, sell like $250, $300K. That's not a big mark, right? Especially from a studio that's from Ninja Theory. $250K is not a big mark, right? Also, HellBlade was digitally only on PS4, not physical at the time. PlayStation was mostly digital until mid-2000. That could be a thing. I will say that, right? I think more people are more digital now than ever. But I will say this, right? Given under the conditions of how Ninja Theory was conducting their business, where they will make a game and they expect the game to be profitable after 6 months, which is a very... You're on eggshells for 6 months. I'm not surprised that Microsoft was able to easily buy them and bring them up into their first party. With Ninja Theory being part of Microsoft's first party, they have security. They have a security blanket. They no longer have to worry about that no more, right? And that's just, so I will say that. Now, with that said, I'm saying all that to say this. HellBlade, or just Ninja Theory, they are not trying to be a AAA production studio. Okay? They are not a AAA production. What I mean by that is, if you paid attention to Ninja Theory Dev Diaries on their channel, they are not trying to be a studio where they where they need $100 million, $200 million to make a game, and they work on that game for 5 years, 6 years. They're not trying to be that studio. What they're trying to be is a studio where you can give them the last HellBlade will use the last HellBlade, $12 million, and you can make a game like that. I'm pretty sure Microsoft's probably giving them a little bit more. I would imagine their games are probably 20 million, maybe 30 million at the most, right? But they're not trying to be 80, 90, 100 million, 200 million plus that. They're not trying to do that. They're not trying to go there, right? Okay. So Donatello says, in order for a game to sell, you need a marketing budget. So here's the thing. I can understand if the goal was like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, right? But I've seen games with little to no marketing sell 300, 400,000 on PlayStation. It's not, 250K is not a lot. It's not a lot at all. For even on first month, just first month, is not a lot. It's really not. It's pennies, right? But anyway, so Ninja Theory is not trying to be that involved in big AAA production titles. So the games they do make is going to have a smaller budget compared to that, right? So when I see the conversation right now of HellBlade versus Horizon Zero Dawn, right? I'm not looking at this as Xbox versus PlayStation because, like I said, I'm a fan of Ninja Theory, but Ninja Theory is not going to have the budget of Horizon, not Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West. Ninja Theory is not going to have the budget of Forbidden West. They're not going to have that budget. They're not, right? So I'll start with the Xbox guys. For you Xbox guys that are attempting to use HellBlade 2 versus Forbidden West in a graphics war, you're going to lose. You're going to lose bad. Because you guys don't really care about HellBlade. You guys really don't care about Ninja Theory. You only care about Microsoft, right? You didn't pay attention. Maybe some of you did, right? And the few views that did, if you are a Ninja Theory fan and you know about what I'm talking about, then you need to check your community because they're setting the game up for failure from a graphic standpoint, right? Ninja Theory did not get the budget that Guerrilla has for Horizon Forbidden West because they're not trying to be like that studio, right? When Microsoft bought them out, they didn't buy them out with the thought of, all right, now we're going to make you a big AAA studio. Here's $150 million. Take 5 years. They're not doing that. Sure, the game's taking a little bit longer to make, but that's because Microsoft put in the money to build them a brand new studio from the ground up. So they have a new studio, and then obviously with COVID issues, but they have a new studio with new mocap and everything for all their future games that they're going to develop. But the future games they're going to develop, they're not going to be 100 million 5-year developed blockbusters or, you know, titles. I would imagine maybe 20, 30 million at the most, and in 2 to 3 years, right? But they're going to look great and they're going to graphically look great. So in that scope, right, if I look at HellBlade 2 and it's nowhere near the budget of Horizon Forbidden West, it graphically looks good. You understand what I'm saying? It graphically looks amazing, right? When it has nowhere near the budget of Horizon Forbidden West. So you Xbox dudes that are either you're baited into the argument or you start in the argument, you're going to lose this argument. You're going to lose the graphics thing. Forbidden West is going to kill HellBlade from a graphics perspective because it has the budget. And Guerrilla, people could debate on Guerrilla making fun games, right? Horizon was a great game, but before that, with Killzone, it was hit or miss, right? But there's one thing we can equally say across the board, from the very first Killzone, which was trash, to the current Horizon Zero Dawn, they know graphics. Guerrilla knows how to make a graphically good-looking game. I don't care what game it is. They know graphics. That's their forte. They are really, really good at graphics, you know, and graphical fidelity. They're good. Guerrilla has scared. That engine of theirs, and with that Decima engine, with the improvements even Kojima helped improve on, Horizon Forbidden West is going to be a graphical showpiece for 2022 on the PlayStation 5. It's going to be a graphical showpiece. If I was you Xbox dudes, I would not get baited or even try to put that game, but y'all doing it. Stuff like that. Bigger budget doesn't mean a better looking yet. Bigger budget in the hands of Guerrilla means a better looking, graphically looking game compared to lower budget in the hands of Ninja Theory. By far. By far. You put the money in, you're gonna get it out. It's just how it is. Right? If you put Ninja Theory next to Guerrilla, and Guerrilla has $100+ million budget, and Ninja Theory has a $20+ million budget, no. Because we're not talking about a competition expertise. Right? I could maybe understand if it was Ninja Theory versus Asobo Studios or a shitty studio that's not good, that don't know how to make graphically good looking games. I could maybe understand that, right? Because at that point, it doesn't matter how much money you give a studio. If the studio's not good, money's not going to solve that problem. If you don't have the talent to make graphically good looking games, you could have $500 million. Fuck! 343! Not to insult 343, but if them dudes have $500 million, god damn, that shit should be like a painting, right? You give somebody that much money, them shits should be like fucking, you know, Michelangelo, and you're at the Sistine Chapel. That shit should just be like, holy shit. Like, you should be looking at shit that you've never seen before, you know? So that's a perfect example, right? Of money doesn't resolve talent. But Guerrilla is talented as fuck when it comes to graphics, right? There's no denying Guerrilla has talent for graphics. And you give them the money, you're going to get graphics. You're going to get them graphics with that money. So Guerrilla, lots of money. With Ninja Theory, nowhere near that money. It ain't going to happen, bro. It ain't going to happen. I'm telling you. My man said goes to marketing. What do you think? That all the money is going to... Let's say Guerrilla got $200 million for Zero Dawn, and 100 of it is marketing, right? So that means 100 million to build the game. And let's say Ninja Theory got 30 million, and all 30 million is for the game. Guess what? 100 million still more than 30 million. You know? Darnell, listen, bro. You an Xbox dude. But do not make the argument that the marketing cost is so much that it ends up being the same production cost as Ninja Theory. Bro, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself, all right? The money they got to make the game is more than what Ninja Theory is getting to make the game. By far. Incredibly by far. I would say at least 3 times more to make that game. The money they got for marketing is irrelevant. It's specifically the money Guerrilla got to make the game. There's no way. You don't even do it. Delete your comments. Don't even try that. Don't even dare say that Ninja Theory is going to have a budget similar to Ninja Theory when it comes to actual production of the game itself. They're not. Because they're not built for that. And I would say that's one of the reasons why Microsoft wanted them. Because that's perfect for Game Pass. You know, you get $20 million budget games. If you could release a game every 2-3 years, that helps overall. Ninja Theory's happy because that's what they want to do. Microsoft most definitely will be happy because that's great for Game Pass. They don't have to wait 5 years for a game to come out. It's a winner. But you compare that to Guerrilla, who's a graphical beast, and you give them that change, you're going to lose out. But hey, that's just my advice, Darnell Hill. That's my advice to you. If you want to go out there and die on that hill, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. But hey, you do what, like the Hot Switch says, you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? You go out there and fight that fight. But go ahead and pit Ninja Theory graphics with Guerrilla graphics. You know, I mean, God be with you on that battle, right? For the PlayStation guys, for those that did follow Ninja Theory, right? Y'all should know better, right? You know Ninja Theory, unless you didn't pay attention, but you know Ninja Theory was not going down this route of big production, AAA, you know, high cost in AAA, 5-year development time. They're not trying to be that studio, right? So you got to look at Ninja Theory Blade 2 in the confines of the budget and the time and what they're trying to do. And it looks really good, you know, well, most likely nowhere near the budget of the God of Wars, the Horizon Zero Dawns, Red Dead Redemption, you know, the big graphical powerhouses, the Witchers, you know, well, you know, that's just not it, right? It's not going to get that budget. So with the budget they're doing, you got and I'm saying this because I'm a fan of Ninja Theory. With what they're doing with the money they get, with the money that they want, and how they're pushing the development studios, they're doing some pretty impressive stuff with what they're doing, right? And that's it, right? And that's it, right? So I'm not into bashing HellBlade. I know it's doing it because of Xbox, but I'm not going to let Xbox fanboys, their exaggeration of Xbox Series X, and then we just saw another PlayStation 5 tapped out, right? I'm not going to let that steer me into a conversation that I know that is not warranted, right? I know Ninja Theory's direction, been following them for a while. I know they're not going to get the money that the PlayStation big AAA studios get. They're not going to get the money that the big AAA Microsoft studios get. They're not going to get the same budget Bethesda gets. They're not going to get the budget. I guarantee they're not even going to get the budget Playground is getting for Fable. They're not even getting that budget, right? The budget Playground's probably getting for Fable could be used for Ninja Theory to make 2-3 games, right? That's just how they're working, right? Sony Ben is definitely getting a bigger budget, right? We all know that Days Gone 2 was pitched. Sony said no. They said go back and make a bigger game than what. So Sony Ben's going back to the drawing board with a new IP, and it's supposed to be bigger in scope, and they got a bigger budget. You see what I'm saying? Morgan Kimes. HellBlade 2 is definitely giving me the Order 1886 vibes. Ouch. Ouch. You know what's funny, girl? I know what you're talking about. I think you and I are one of the few that don't like Order 1886. Right? It's a graphical showpiece. But goddamn that gameplay, bro. Damn. Bruh. Like, only 2 weapons was really useful in that game. I tried to use that electric shotgun. By the time that shit revved up, the enemy's like straight killing me. I'm like, this is the most useless weapon I ever seen in this entire game. It's just... Order 1886 was just graphics, man. God, that game has so much potential. So much potential. You know, so much potential, bro. I love the setting. I love the story. I love the point. I love the werewolf vampire lore. I love, you know, old school London. I love the story and the potential universe. The potential universe Order 1886 is. But the execution of the gameplay, bro, I was like... Classic Cage. He said, what gameplay? Exactly, man. It was just... The gameplay was just... garbage. It was just garbage, bro. It was just a graphical showpiece with a nice background of what could have potentially be an amazing game if it was... You know, a sequel to, shout out to JFK TV, a sequel to Order 1886 will only be crazy if they did some drastic changes. If it's the same shit, it's like, bruh, this shit hurts my feelings. Like, bruh. Anyway, good point, Morgan. Like, you know, but I'm gonna tell you this: I enjoy Ninja Theory. I enjoy their work. So I'm definitely gonna play HellBlade 2, and I'm definitely gonna play that on PC. Well, I think it's going to be next gen only anyway, so it's not a choice. But I'm not playing that on cloud or any weird shit like that. So I'm looking forward to it because I'm a fan of Ninja Theory. I always enjoyed their work. The work I didn't enjoy, and I knew from the moment I saw it, was Bleeding Edge. When they first revealed Bleeding Edge, I was like, oh, hell no, Ninja Theory. Like, bruh, this is not what we're asking. Like, no, this ain't it. This is not even giving me any positive vibes. This is not even giving me okay. I didn't even get okay. We can see where this goes. I see you trying to do something different. I see you, like what Gorilla did, right? You know, when Gorilla said, oh, we're doing RPG, at first I was like, ooh, they're doing a... And then, like, I only got words. Like, I didn't even see pictures because I read an article that Gorilla was interested in RPG and it involved dinosaurs. And I was like... When I read it, I was like, imagine reading something and you're like, you know, you get like a boy, you're reading something, you're like, Gorilla's next project is an RPG with robot dinosaurs. I was like... Ooh, I'm going to close this and I'm going to file it. I'm going to file this in the cabinet where no one can see it. I was like, ooh, this is going to be, ooh, and it ended up great. But then when I saw the first look, I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. This looks impressive. When I saw Bleeding Edge and I saw the gameplay, I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, boy, ain't no way, boy. I was like, boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. I was like, no, this is not, no. Ninja Theory, no, please tell me this is not what Xbox wants from you. Oh my God, no. And of course, Xbox community saying, oh, you're a fanboy, blah, 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 da. A year later, even Ninja Theory said, shit, we stopped supporting that game after 3 months because it was a failure. And then they just shut it down. They're just done with it. Yeah, it was obvious. And I don't mind you trying to get out of your box, but you got to come out right, you know? And that was not right. That was not it. Hit the like button if you don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Please hit the like button if you haven't, whatever. So you can tell when something. So when I saw Bleeding Edge, I knew. I was like, you know what? Whatever, bro. Like, Ninja Theory, I hope this is not the route you're going with. Now that you're under Microsoft. But then they revealed HellBlade. Project Mara, I have no idea what that about. They just showed a staircase. So, I don't know. But as long as they keep making more single-player games, it's going to be alright. I don't know how the Xbox community is going to react to it. I think Jeff Cord, didn't he already say that it looks very scripted? and he's not feeling it, right? It's interesting. You know. Right? Everybody saw those comments. Everybody saw the video. It's been going on Twitter. Jez Corden kind of felt that it's very scripted, and his concern was because it's very scripted, you're able to spruce up graphics, and that's why you're able to make it look graphically good. But what happens if it's like a big gameplay, whatever, does the graphic get toned down? You know what I mean? Again, ultimately for me is I know the direction Ninja Theory is going, so I with how they're doing things, I thought the game looked good, right? I know some people are very concerned with scripted gameplay and stuff like that. Me personally, so people are, because of what they seen in the because what they seen in the show, people are asking, was that gameplay? Was it real gameplay? Was it scripted sequences? Was it was it a showpiece? What's going on with it? I will say this. I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't know if that was a pure gameplay reveal. I think they're just trying to show eye candy. Because eye candy sells, right? But I know a lot of gamers, we want gameplay. Because a lot of times, real gameplay doesn't graphically look the same as what is advertised. And I think a lot of gamers, especially the hardcore gamers that watch award shows, watch, keynote speeches and showcases, I think we got to the point where we're kind of tired of seeing these super enhanced graphics, only to, when we actually play the game, is nowhere near what was presented. So I can understand that feeling, right? I get that, right? I think people want to see if it's actual true gameplay, and they want to see the real gameplay, right? And I know some people had issues with the first HellBlade. I guess some people felt not enough gameplay. Some people felt it was boring and stuff. So I know there's questions about that. I don't think HellBlade 2 is going to be a far departure from HellBlade 1. I could see they could improve the combat. They could. I could see combat improvement. I could see more engaging combat. That would be nice. Obviously. A sequel having better combat than the first game. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously take some of the stuff. I hope they don't remove the challenges of the puzzles and the dynamic of working the environment, because I think that was a great part of the game, especially if you play the game and you played it with a headset. You all know that Senwa has mental issues, right? So she hears voices in her heads all the time, right? And I think when you were trying to solve the puzzles, even in the combat, it played a role. But a lot of times, going through the environment, right, trying to solve puzzles, and you personally are trying to think, how to solve this puzzle, but the game, the voices in your headset, from the game, her voices, it just keeps messing you up. If you play the game, you guys should know what I'm talking about, right? That's what I loved about the game. That game got me into playing with headsets. Before, I never really played with headsets, but so many people recommended that the heart and soul of the game was playing with a headset, so you can deal with the voices in Senwa's head, and it worked. And ever since then, bruh, what's my goddamn headset? I'm here talking all that shit. I got a messy room, but I've been playing with headset. Here it is. I've been playing with the headset religiously now, and I have my original other headsets for the PS4. I wish I was able to buy the black one at launch. Now they're selling the black one. Oh man, I wish I had it. I kind of like the Dark Knight. Does it come in black? I'm just waiting for these official plates to come out. Make my PlayStation all in black and stuff like that. My homegirl Morgan Kime, she has a nice one. She did it right. You did it in red with black plates, right? It's pretty dope. Anyway, I hope they don't get rid of the puzzles, because if you do the puzzles and you have the headset on, you're hearing those voices, the combination of you trying to figure out the puzzle while you listen to the voices really provides that great immersion. I know some of you might move the headset because you want to focus on a puzzle, don't do that. Stay with the game. Let the voices fuck with you. Challenge yourself to solve the puzzles with them annoying ass voices in your head, right? Because it's just great. It's a great part of the game. I think it's an underappreciated point of the game, right? But that's it. I know there's always gonna be competitive graphics. I don't know. I personally, like I said, I'm a fan of Ninja Theory. I like HellBlade. I'm looking forward to the second one. But we do need to see gameplay, right? I get that, right? So it's always welcome. But at least I saw a little bit more with this game as before, and I'm sure Ninja Theory is gonna update us or whatever. But yeah, final part of this combo is the Game Awards, and I'll make this quick. Let me put this image up. I think it's this one. All right. So It Takes Two is Game of the Year. You probably heard Spaces. A lot of people pissed off. Some people felt some games should have won it. Some people felt Ratchet and Clank got robbed. I'll personally say I'm glad Kana won an award for Best Indie. Well deserved. To me, it is probably the best indie that came out this year. They've done a phenomenal job. They took it to a next level. I beat it. Amazing game. And I'm glad Returnal got Best Action Game. It is definitely the best action game. I don't know how it didn't get a nom for Game of the Year, because I think, me personally, Returnal is probably one of the best games of 2021. It's just absolutely phenomenal what they did, right? I think it's a combination of Housemarque not being a well-known studio in the big game. You know what? I'm going to be honest. You know what I think really held this game back? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be absolutely honest. This is my opinion. I think what really held this game back from people appreciating it and recognizing it for how great it was the $70 price tag. I think some people are still, they got to stick up their ass about $70 that's going to take precedence over the games or how great the game is. If a game costs $70 on PlayStation, unless it's EA, because Madden's fine at $70, right? 2K is fine at $70. Those guys are fine. They can release all the annual rehash $70 games they want, right? Call of Duty's fine at $70. Yeah, no one cares. No one complains about annual rehashes with barely any little improvements, right? Madden barely has any improvements. 2K barely improvements, but yeah, perfectly fine at $70. People have no problem with that, right? But I think Returnal suffered from $70, right? I think a lot of PlayStation gamers, because of $70, they're like, nope, I'm not playing this game. And they missed out on probably one of the top games because the gameplay was phenomenal. I know a lot of people were pissed off on how difficult it was, or how you could be playing for 2-3 hours, and if the console shuts off, you just lose everything, and that frustrates people. Right? But I think Returnal being $70, and I'm not talking about from a profit or business standpoint, because they did fine. Sony announced that it was successful. Housemarque announced it was successful. So from a business standpoint, it was successful. Sony's happy. Housemarque is happy. They acquired them as an official first-party studio. They're going to keep going. They're going to keep making amazing games, right? So from a business standpoint, fine. But from a recognizable standpoint, where I think it should have got a little bit more recognition than what it has, I think the $70 was the sticking point. And it held back. It held back a lot of people being able to experience the game or even giving the game a chance. If you give the game a chance, you realize, man, this is a really good game. This game is better than other games that are being sold for $70. By far. By far. It's an amazing game, right? It's an amazing gameplay. Challenging. It tests your skills. You want to talk about get good, right? The gunplay was great, right? It was fair. There was nothing cheesy about that game. It was a fair game. How the game was balanced and how the game, how the enemies attacked you and how you have to learn and deal with it was definitely fair. It was no cheesy deaths or nothing. But it was hard as hell. But if you got good, you can easily get through the game if you got good. That's crazy. Because you can easily get through the game, but you have to get good. You really have to, practice and get in on it. And if you do, you'll see that the game is fair. It's the type of game that you can dominate the game. You can dominate the game as long as you put in the time to get better at it, learn it. It was $70 for me. I would have paid $80 easily. The game is so underrated. But I think the $70 put a tag on that, right? Probably would have been better. I think if the game would have launched at $50, I think it would have been more receptive. I don't think people would have... The price tag would have not been part of the conversation if Returnal was $50. If Returnal was $50, it would have been the conversation would have been 100% on the merit of the game itself. If it was $50. Not even $60, $50. If it was $50, I'm not saying that it's not worth $70. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is, at the price of $50, you will not have the conversation of price for the game. Every conversation on the game would have been the merit of the game. I think more people would have played it day one or within the first week, which would have been a bigger draw. And I think it probably would have been more popular. But I think that $70 price tag, there's too many people that are just stuck on it, right? To which... Oh, hold on. Hold up. I can add one more topic. Let me see if I... Hold up. Hold up. Damn, I just thought about this. Give me a sec. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna put a image. But yo, PC games are starting to cost $70 now. Y'all saw the price for Forspoken? And I think there was another game. They priced the games at $70. So ice has been broken. You know what I'm saying? $70 PC games is coming. It's happening. It's happening, Captain. It's happening. Right? Now, I had this conversation on Twitter, right, about $70 PC games. And the retort was, well, I don't have to pay $70. I can find deals and blah, blah, blah. Which I agree. You can find deals. But that's not the point of the conversation, because console gamers can find deals. You don't have to pay $70 for a PlayStation game. Unless you're a day one gamer and you want to buy it, right, digitally, you don't have to pay $70. Because there's been day one games, I seen it, right? They already sold it, you know, like 15% off, 20% off, you know, day one. Like at Amazon, the physical editions, right? Or you can go to GameFly and rent it, right? So you don't have to pay $70. The conversation wasn't what you had to do. It was the fact that the decision was made to do it. That was the conversation. The conversation was what gamers end up having to do. Because not one gamer has to pay $70 for any of these games. You can wait. And PlayStation games is not like Nintendo games. They don't stay at the same price for 3 years. They're going to drop in price. They're going to drop in price quickly. Right? They do. Right? They drop in price quickly. Like right now, you don't have to pay $70 for Returnal. I think the game's like $30 now or whatever. Right? So the prices drop. So you can find deals on games. The conversation was the audacity of the publishers even doing it. That was the conversation. And you PlayStation gamers allowed it. Never mind the other third parties doing it. Oh no, that don't matter. We're just talking about first party. Man, if you don't shut up. Right? The audacity. Well, now guess what? Oh, PC Master Race. That would never happen on PC. Because, you know, our schlongs are too long. They don't dare attempt this war with the PC gamer. Right? That's how they act and shit, right? Boy! $70 games, dog. Listen, it was gonna eventually happen, right? I mean, unless you started gaming last gen, games used to cost $50. Oddly enough, games go topsy-turvy. I remember when games was $70, $60, $70 on the Super Nintendo. Street Fighter was like $70 when it first came out. Right? Cartridges was expensive. It was expensive for cartridge games. But then with the CD, With the PS1, whatever, I think games was like $40. Right? 40, 50 bucks. 40, it was like $40. It was 40, 50 range, right? 40, 50 bucks. During the PlayStation 2 era, it was $50. But then when the PS3 era came, 360 PS3 era came, the HD era came, they raised the price to 60. And then there was like a backlash. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I think even the PC gamers, but it wasn't that big because the conversation was in forums. But it went up to 60. And now we went through the PlayStation, we went through the 360 PlayStation 3 era at $60. And we went through the PlayStation 4 Xbox One era at $60. So we had 2 eras at $60. Now it's the new era, ray tracing, all this other crazy shit, more advancements. Price is going up. It's going to go up. Right? $70 is going to be standardized. When I have 70 that got 70 is going to be standardized for this gen. Right? That doesn't mean every game is going to be $70. There's still going to be $60, $50 games. All depends on the budget. But we're going to have $70 games across the board this gen. And $79 games the following gen. And then after that gen, possibly a price increase. Right? But I will say that. PC gamers, they already cracked ice. There's going to be games that cost $70 and the movement's not going to change. Xbox gamers, you are next. It's going to happen. Microsoft first party will release $70 games. It's an eventuality. They are not going to sell games $10 cheaper when everybody else has it at $70. They're not going to be the $2 trillion company. It's not going to be the odd man out. It's eventually going to happen, right? Neo Geo games was $150. Yeah, I remember that. When Neo Geo came out, Neo Geo was $600. And each game was $150 when Neo Geo came out. And this was during the time of Sega Genesis, Super NES. $600. And one game was $150. Bruh, that's crazy, right? So, anyway. So I thought that's our final topic. But anyway, did I skip the Game Awards topic? I skipped it, didn't I? Anyway. Let me go back to the Game Awards. I talked about Returnal. So, It Takes Two Game of the Year. Let me tell you something. This year's Game of the Year announcements wasn't all that. They were okay games, but it wasn't. If you look at the list, people are lying to themselves. I hear people be like, oh my God, Psychonauts 2 is the greatest ever. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, stop. Even Ratchet and Clank, I think, was not a Game of the Year. I think it's great. I think it's a great game, but it's not a Game of the Year. To me, on that list, I honestly thought it's probably going to be Metroid Dread. Even that didn't win. It was It Takes Two. Now, I'm not here to bash It Takes Two. I didn't play it. I seen it. I seen streams of it. That's about it. I seen the hype. I seen so many people doing streams and all that stuff. But in my opinion, we're just stuck in that gen where the very best we're going to see for this gen hasn't been made yet. The very best games that we're going to get this gen hasn't been made yet. They're coming. And I think this gen is going to turn out great. And we're going to see true killers. I think 2022 has stacked. Even though Horizon Zero Dawn God of War across gen, I think on the PlayStation 5 it's going to be phenomenal. Elden Rings, I think this will be awesome. I think there's going to be some great games, right? That's going to happen. Starfield, I'll say this. The potential for it to be great, I can only go off how they handled the overall Fallout franchise and the overall Elder Scrolls franchise, which Bethesda's done a great job overall. Sure, Fallout 76 launched, we all know, right? But I say overall, I enjoyed the Fallout franchise. Overall, I enjoyed Elder Scrolls franchise. So, kind of want to see how Starfield, Fallout in space ends up, right? So it could be outstanding. It could be a big hit too. So the hits are coming, bro, and I'm looking forward to it. February stacked. Even the indie, what's the Kung Fu game? They actually have a 10% sell if you pre-order it on PlayStation Plus. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, you could pre-order. Jesus Christ. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Kung Fu game that's coming out in February? It's an indie title. It looks dope. Man, my memory's shit today. I'm hungry. One, help me out here. Got me looking stupid. Sifu, there you go. And 2, hit the like button. Sifu. Shout out to the chat. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. Sifu looks dope, right? So, and if you didn't know, if you look right now, if you're a PS Plus member, you could get the game on sale already. And the sale lasts till like the end of January. I think it's gonna last. If I remember the expiration, it lasts right a little bit before the game actually comes out, like a week before. So you got plenty of time. Don't be the one to buy the game day one at full price when you could have gotten it. Right, anyway, you know what I'm saying? But stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's some games ahead. My man Darnell, Crossfire X, Bright Memory Infinite, Scorn. I don't know about that Bright Memory Infinite or Scorn. Scorn, whatever. Crossfire looks good, but I'm not really looking at the multiplayer games and stuff like that with Remedy. I got it. There's a lot of games on Xbox that you guys are looking at every single game on Xbox. You look at the entire library of Xbox. Like me, notice I didn't say Gran Turismo. If you noticed, I didn't mention Gran Turismo as a banger. Not saying that it won't be, but I didn't mention it. There's a reason why I didn't mention it, because all of you know I don't care about racing games. So I'm not really hyping that game for anything. Not saying that it is or isn't, but if I'm not really interested in game, I'm gonna just leave it alone. So like Crossfire X, Scorn, and what's the other shit you mentioned? Bright Memory. Yeah, definitely not Bright Memory Infinite. I'm definitely not. Nothing really shows me anything. Scorn, I'm kind of paying attention to only because it's a horror game. You know, so I kind of like that background. Crossfire X, I'm not really caring about multiplayer right now. But I am being fair because, again, I didn't mention Gran Turismo. So there's certain games that is probably coming out in 2022 that I don't mention, but that's because I'm not really interested at this point in time to play it. So it's not really a thing for me. But other than that, let me dip out of here. I need to play some games. I need to eat. But anyway, I want to say this to everybody. Thank you so much for rocking out to me. On your way out, hit the like button. Right? There's 164 users, over 160, 113 likes. Hit that like button on your way out. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. I'll be back live. Maybe I'll be able to do the podcast Tuesday. A lot of crazy things going on. It's also towards the end of the year. I'll probably just go live by myself for the rest of the year. And then we'll kick off 2022 hot with the podcast. You know what I'm saying? But until then, thank you for rocking out. I truly appreciate it. You guys enjoy your Sunday. And I'm out of here. It's time to get some grub. This is your boy Porter Rock 77. Your only friend these YouTube streets. Grand opening. Grand closing. I'm out of here. You guys take care. Enjoy your day. Peace.